Hey everybody, welcome back to another Angular Tour of Heroes tutorial video where we've been going through the Tour of Heroes tutorial on Angular's website together, which I think, coming from someone that just started learning Angular, I think is a better way of learning than just reading this and getting lost and also bored. And that's what we've been following along. If you want to follow along too, I recommend starting at the beginning. I have a playlist made and I think we're on part 7 now. I kind of forget, but it'll be in the title, so don't worry. And I'll have the tutorial link down below if you are new, but I do recommend, of course, starting at the beginning. And if you like this kind of stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe. We're slowly getting to 1,000 subscribers, which is my goal. And I really do appreciate all of you that have been watching and subscribing in the last 28 days here. 80 people subscribed, so that's awesome. And if you forget where we left off, we listed out all of our heroes, just like you see here in this nice little list. And if we click on one, we actually show the details of that hero down below. And we can change it like this. We can change the name of the hero. And you can see it automatically, since it's bound to both this and this, it changes that with ease, which is kind of cool. And one of the things we're going to do in today's video is when I click on one, yeah, it hovers over it when I'm over it, but once I click on it and I select that hero, we want that styling to change up a bit. We want the background to be black and the letters to be white, and it stays like that as long as that particular hero is selected. And I moved that to my other monitor. If you don't have 2 monitors, by the way, I do recommend you at least getting 2. I want to get 3 at some point. I currently only have 2. Makes a world of a difference, especially when programming. So you can have, like I have, my VS Code in one monitor and then my web browser in the other. And one other thing that we did, we copied over the CSS from the tutorial, and here is what we're going to use. We're going to use the selected class for a list item, and this is how you would use it. You would say class is equal to selected. However, we want to make that pretty dynamic. We only want it to use the CSS whenever the user actually clicks on that particular item. And there's a really nifty way to do that with binding, class binding, that Angular does provide. So the particular thing that we want to bind the CSS to is this list item where we use this ng4 directive and list out all of the heroes. We're going to add to this, and the syntax for the class binding looks like this. So you're going to have a square brace, open and close, and then start with class. And it's always going to start with class when you're using a class, and then you'll do dot and then the class name. So in our case, the class name is going to be selected. And like I said, I just copied all of the CSS from the tutorial site here, and it will be at the bottom of part 2 on the on the tutorial, and you can scroll over at the bottom and find the CSS file and just copy all of this if you haven't already. So we'll copy the name selected because that is the particular class that's going to be used if a condition is met. So we do the syntax just like that, and then outside of the ending square brace, we're going to do equals, and then we're going to write some kind of condition. And so on the Angular tutorial, if you're following along and looking at this as well, you'll see they do where hero is, and then you see these 3 equal signs. And that is equal to selected hero. And you might be asking, well, what's the 3 equal signs mean? Well, it's actually the strict equals operator. And it's different from the 2 equal sign and this relation that both the type and the value are equal. So they have a good example here. Let me zoom in because it is kind of small. But they have a is equal to the numeric value of 10. And if we just use double equal signs, we say, well, 10 is equal to the string value of 10. That'll become true. However, if you use the 3 equal sign or the very strict, that means the type also has to be the same in order for it to be true. So a here is the numerical value of 10, and they do the strict equals operator and the string of 10, and it comes out as false because a is a number and 10 is a string. And I don't really think it's totally necessary here that they use it, because in our case, hero is always going to be the same type as selected hero, but maybe it's good practice to just use it anyway in this case. So that's what we'll do. We'll stick with what they do, and we'll say where hero is equal to selected hero. And don't forget, hero is the alias that we gave when we're looping through all of the heroes. And then selected hero is this property right here that gets set whenever we click on a list item, right? It runs that click event and it sets that value. So to reiterate real quick, we're going to apply the selected class to this particular list item whenever this condition is met, when the selected hero is equal to this list item's hero. So we'll save that and bring back over my web browser, and nothing looks different, of course, right now because it just refreshed and I didn't select one. But now watch when I select Dr. Nice, how the styling changes. It goes from a black background right here and a white lettering. When I switch, you can see it also switch with this. Dr. Nice no longer has that CSS class, and Tornado now does. And you can loop through them all and just make sure it works as you expect. But it's a neat way to be able to apply styling dynamically based on a condition, and especially when selecting something to make it look a little more professional, it's pretty useful. So that is how you can use, I guess, dynamic styling in Angular. And in the next video, we're going to create another component, it looks like, and move this part, the selected hero details, to its own component. So that should be exciting. And then pass along data to that component. And you'll get more familiarity, hopefully, with components. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, if you guys did enjoy this, really would appreciate you to subscribe for more, and I hope to see you in the next one.